We are learning.
Tell me about it. We always get there in the end. We always get there.
Brilliant. How's been your day? It was great meeting you over the weekend, right?
Oh, thank you. Yes, it was really good. We had a good time. Very, very informative. We're really educated. Eyes opened up. It was really good. It was really good.
A lot of
Yes, I,
thanks
I
to
do like
Julie
it
and
when you
team.
give us these inspiring speeches. It's really good.
And what was your number one takeaway?
Quality, providing quality services, and integrity. What you say you're going to do is what you deliver. And actually, having said that, one of my clients is it's rather a difficult family. And because I was so fired up when I left the event, so we had a bit of a problem, and the carers were having problems. So I called the next of kin straight away, and I promised what we were going to do the following day, which was yesterday. So my care coordinator was then saying, "Oh, we shouldn't go," because I said the deputy manager is going to look after your mom tomorrow. So the care coordinator was like, "Oh, we can't. She might not be there." I said, "Look, even if the daughter is there, even if she's not there, what you promise is what you deliver. Be a person of integrity." So we did exactly that. And guess what? The same daughter we had said she wasn't going to be there, she was there yesterday. And I said, "You see, guys, when you say you do
Brilliant.
something, just do it that way. Because then that way, you don't go wrong. And people will respect you for it." So that's one thing that I've really taken from you.
Oh,
Quality
brilliant.
service,
Awesome.
integrity, and systems, systems, systems.
When I keep shouting and talking about systems, people think I'm real crazy, right? But the system,
Oh, it's so easy. It's when you're in business, and especially in this day and era of allegations and suing and this and that, it's literally click of a button and you send them the evidence and you're done. It makes life so much easy. Even when you're planning things, you don't struggle. You don't struggle. I couldn't do it without systems in place. I couldn't.
brilliant. So awesome. So, people on the group have been inboxing us, saying, oh, we need to hear from people who have started because we want to be encouraged. What's going on? So when we met, I thought, okay, this is a good idea. This is a fantastic idea. So guys, we've got Thelma. Thelma, tell us a little bit about your history, your journey. Where did you start and how did this all happen?
Okay, so yeah, I'm Thelma. Basically, Blessed Kapesa is my husband, and he is very business driven. It started from age, I'm thinking maybe about 10, 12 years ago, when we wanted to open up a recruitment agency, because then we were just agency nurses. And we felt that we had done enough agency, we needed to do our own thing. So we tried to open up a recruitment agency, and things really didn't take off. So we left it. Um, it is something that's been lingering at the back of our minds for some time. And then, when was it? Was it 2 or 3 years ago? You actually attended an AFM IM ladies conference. And it was at that conference that you really inspired. I felt inspired with the things that I remember. You came with a picture of yourself from Kadoma, and you said, "If I could do this," and that was so profound, because I was like, you know what? I come from some humble background as me. And if she's gone this far, what is stopping me from doing this? I was really inspired. And you did say at that conference that you were going to be hosting a workshop in London. And I registered for it straight away. I went to your London workshop. I learned things from there, like things like MailChimp. I really learned a lot of things. I got a lot of things that I learned from you. I then started, going through the application processes and everything. I left it for some time because of work pressures. But to be honest, because of the things that you had said, they kept on ringing at the back of my mind. And finally, last year in May, I then managed to complete my application, rather, to be registered with the CQC. I didn't go
Brilliant.
into recruitment because I was a bit iffy, and because of the negative start I had, I thought I would probably give home care a try. I do love it. It's something that I have a passion about anyway. So we got our registration last year in May. Things went quiet between May and December, but it was through persevering and some links again from my church. I mean, I should say shout out to my church, AFMIM.
Shout out
I
to
was, yes,
AFM.
yes, Graves and Assembly. Yes, I was sort of, when you know people and people help you to get to where we were. So, there was another lady who just said, look, you've got your registration with CQC. Medway Council is looking for some people. We are really struggling to get some providers. Why don't you give them a try? I tried at first, like knocking on iron doors. No, but because of perseverance and, like what you said, you create relationships, build relationships. I remember one of the commissioners, I would just go to him and I'll just say, good morning, Jack. Hi, it's Thelma. And you'll be like, Thelma, we don't have anything for you. But I kept on persevering. And from the blue, he just sent me an application form.
Wow.
Which I then completed. When I went to the interview, it was very informal because I used to communicate quite a lot with him online, you see. So anyway, I went through all that and we were placed on the provider list for Medway Council. So we are providing home care services to Medway Council at the moment. We have got about 30 clients on our books, but we're delivering about 500 hours a week.
Wow.
We've got 10 carers. We are still growing. The only thing that is sort of paused us at the moment is because we don't have staff. If we had the staff that we needed, we could easily go to 1,000 hours, and that is where we're heading to. We're looking at growing. We're venturing into supported living services, and I'll be attending actually your workshop in London on the 29th of June, because I just want to see how things go with funding and stuff, because I've got a 3-bedroom property in Grays, but I want to convert it. It's got I need to do a garage conversion to make it a 4-bed, and then I will be doing supported living services. We've been given planning permission already, so really it's just a matter of me going forward. So that is where we are at the moment.
Wow, what an amazing testimony. When you talk about it and say to people, guys, let's get on, it's just taking that first step to say, you know what, I'm going to just do it. I think that's important. And I like the fact that you have mentioned about relationships, and those people around you, the ones you are surrounding yourself with, are the ones who are going to propel you to the next level. And what an amazing testimony, Thelma. This is beautiful, right? This is beautiful.
Thank you.
And what's the number one thing you would comment on? Because a lot of us, remember that workshop that you came, that was going for £497. I remember. In that workshop, I had those days I was only doing 10 people workshops, nothing more. And I remember you guys coming in and us getting on with it, getting the workbook, which I have, the recruitment blueprint, the A to Z blueprint. So what would you say on someone who is doubting themselves and thinking, oh, I haven't got the money, I should not be attending workshops? I don't know. What would you want to say to someone who may be on the fence and they are not sure?
The thing with workshops, with what I found myself when it comes to workshop, you learn different nuggets. And with me, you mentioned that when you started your recruitment agency, for a year there was nothing going on. And to me, that really resonated with me. It stuck with me. So even when I was going through, like at times you'd sit down, you'd be like, oh, when you start doubting yourself, I'm going to be honest with you, Fungai. Every time I think of those words, 12 months, nothing on. I would just get up and I would just crack on. Workshops, I think they are really good. You tend to learn different things. And you were talking about, like setting up emails, how you would set up group emails using MailChimp, using stuff out. I picked up a lot of things that I'm still using even up to today. So you do learn a lot. Yeah, you might think that 497 is a lot of money, but the things that you get from there, that will get you going for such an awful long time. So I would encourage people definitely to attend these workshops. That's why, when you mentioned the London one, I didn't even think twice. I just paid it, and you do learn. And there is no way that you're ever going to progress and do things if you don't invest in yourself. Knowledge is power, to be honest. And there's no, how are you going to move on if you don't educate yourself? I mean, I met up with one of these health and safety guys, and he said, you could say it's all this money. He said, train yourself, invest in yourself. When you come to your profits in your business, invest in education, because you don't invest in education, you don't attend this workshop, you're going to be taxed anyway.
That's
right. He said, why don't you just use that money for training, which is tax-free, and improve on yourself rather than pay tax? So it's a choice. And, you know, that is, so me, when it comes to training and improving myself, as long as I can account to HMRC that this is how I've spent my money, I will, especially when it comes to training, I don't jog. I don't even think twice.
That's brilliant. And, you know, I want you to talk to someone who may be on the call. Challenges. Talk to us about challenges and the challenge that you faced. Maybe just give us one, and how you managed to keep going and how you managed to keep going. Because most people, again, they will just be ready to give up, to say, oh, I faced this and this has happened. You know what? That's it. I'm going to go back to my shifts and I'm just going to get on with it. What one challenge you faced that you would give as an example and you've just chosen to persevere?
The challenge that I would say, maybe the biggest one, is fear of the unknown. You'd be like, have I done the right thing? You know, what is, how come, like I would say, we got our registration in, well, I had my CQC interview in May, and there was nothing until December. You would get one or two phone calls, you get all excited, and then you give them your prices and they'll say, we'll get back to you, and nothing happens. You know, I don't know, you know, you think that there is nothing, there is no hope. I just don't know what I'm doing. You know, I would ask myself, because then, oh yes, CQC started deducting their money, you know, their monthly direct debits, and there is nothing going on in the business, and you've got no clients. Yes, I had subscribed to all these health and safety advisors. I had subscribed into our systems, and all this money, oh yes, was coming out. And I was literally going to do my shift work to pay for the company, which was not bringing anything at all. Wow. And it really got me down. I was like, what are you doing, Thelma? But then from the blue, literally mean from the blue, I just got a call from Medway Council, and they just said, we've got this year's service user who desperately needs a provider. Can you help us, please? Yeah. And one thing led to the other. So yes, things might look bleak, but I strongly believe now, you know, when they say when you're attracted to something, when you start thinking of something, you see more of it. Now that I'm in home care, to be honest, I never used to see anybody in home care. But now, if I can tell you the number of people wearing home care uniforms, you'll be like, where have these people been all this time? So no matter if you think that there is nothing, I've got no clients, nothing is really shifting, because it's in your mind, because you're attracted to it, one day it will materialize. Absolutely. One day it will materialize.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so beautiful, Thelma. So thank you so much. I wanted to add on that point of the energy that we carry, that energy attracts what we want or what we desire. So a lot of people, I think most of the work needs to happen in the head.
Absolutely.
I'm always saying that I have always desired, guys, I have always desired never to count pennies in my life. That's a decision I've made, and I do
that's
not.
Another thing. That's another thing, Fungai, that keeps me going. You know, I always say to myself, Fungai, if Fungai is not counting pennies, I am not counting. Oh yes, that's another thing that kept me going. I said, I refuse to continue to count these pennies. Fungai said this. Oh yes, absolutely. I have taken that from you. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. It's hard work. I'm going to say this. It's hard work. It's hard work. These days, I wake up at 3 o'clock. I go to bed. I probably have about 3 or 4 hours sleep, and I wake up. But I know that what you put in is what you get out.
Absolutely.
And I've already told my staff, because I think we've got an inspection coming in July for CQC. And I've told people, I said, look, we are not working to getting a good in this organization. We're working for an outstanding.
That's right.
And that's it. I mean, I really take these things from you. Quality service,
if you
don't go wrong.
Yes, everybody on the line, I really want you to take what Thelma is saying, and I am leading you guys by example. If you go on our healthcare website, theflamelily.co.uk, we have been having 100% audit pass for the last 3 years. Platinum. I'm not going for anything less. Platinum.
Absolutely.
You need to go over and above and beyond. Let your services prove themselves that you are worthy. And when you do that, you will not count pennies, because business follows you. You don't follow business. Absolutely. Business follows you. So I'm so excited that, you know, I have got people like you who are focusing on excellence. It may take time to build the blocks. It may take time to recruit the right people. It may take time to have the right systems in place. But when you do, you excel. you know. And
Absolutely.
you are,
Absolutely.
when inspection is coming, you don't lose sleep over it, because at
No,
the end
it's
of the
true.
day, business is to carry on, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly. It's
that
true.
is an amazing testimony, Thelma. And I think the last thing I wanted you to share and comment as well, I know you've touched a bit on it, the power of networking and the power of having the right people around you. How was that transition journey for you when you were starting? Of course, the people around you might not have been the right one, could have been the right ones. How did you make that decision to say, that's it, that's enough, I'm just gonna go for it, and these are my people, and this is where I'm gonna focus? How was that journey like?
It was. I don't know. We live in a small world. I
Yeah,
mean, there was once, rightly, like you're saying. I had some connections, some people, and things went a little bit pear-shaped. And like you're saying, then I decided that, you know what, maybe I might need to move on with life. We then started going to church at that time. I'm talking of about maybe 6, 7 years ago. We
that's
started
right.
going to church, and I sort of, met new people in church, and these are exactly the same people. And let me say, especially this lady, she's not in business, she's a social worker, she's just an ordinary person. She's just showed me at church, and she said, you know what, you were talking of registering your company at my place in Medway, approach this person and that person.
That's right.
So important. Yeah, you need to make that decision to say, you know what, if this is not working, yes, you are free to move on. And I think it's when you move on that you'll be able to make new friends. If you're stuck with the same group of people, nothing is really coming out, you're just stuck. Well, that's it, really. You're never going to expand your borders, are you? So yeah, if things are not right, if you think that this group of people, well, probably I need to find, please, please, please do that, because you never know the next people you're going to bump into. Because
That's
that is
right.
what happened. An ordinary person who helped me to get that contract.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
beautiful, Thelma. So thank you so much for your time. And I think the
Thank
last point
you.
I was going to make anyway for the people on the call, I've received questions, people who are asking what sort of funding is available, what sort of business is eligible for funding. And what I'm saying to you guys is that at the moment, we have managed to source some funding through the Dream Blazers Academy. We've managed to source some funders, sorry, not funding, but funders who are looking at us, the diaspora community, small startups, and then businesses who are already in business, maybe up to 5 years. And even if you have been in business for slightly longer, but you can get the help that you need. So the questions I'm getting is that what types of business? And I'm like, guys, so when I look at business, I am looking at solving a problem. That problem can be in our community. It can be, actually, let me expand this point, because a lot of people, we get stuck up in trying to figure out, oh, what sort of business? And then we overthink situations. Right now in our community, yeah, ethnic minority and specifically Zimbabwean community, we are now a very big community. We have got moms, dads, we have got our children. And some of our children are ending up in care. Some of our children are ending up in foster care. Some are ending up in jail. Some are ending up in mental health units. We've got a lot of drug and alcohol abuse going on. Why don't you start a service that is specific for the Zimbabwean community, serving our children? So which means that any Zimbabwean child, if they were found to have a problem, you can put your details to say, I will be the one to help deal with them. Because at the end of the day, the way we approach, you now use your culture, you now use your identity, you now use your Zimbabweanness to address the needs of those kids. And if you look at it from that point of view, that is a unique service. And then if you want to expand it and say, okay, just not only Zimbabwean, maybe it could be only ethnic minority and African descent. Because Africans, the way we approach life, our social status, our social settings, the way we do things is very different to the local culture. So your service could be bespoke to African kids. And can you imagine how many African children you could save, Thelma, with your 3-bedded, whatever? You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean, guys?
Yes.
This is what I'm trying to say when I say there is funding available, but we have got to solve our problems. This is one typical example. So how many
Absolutely.
more other problems are in our community that we could come up with services for that can be paid for? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we need to kind of think outside the box and just live. We really just need to walk away from the norm. We need to do things outside the box, walk away from the ordinary way of doing things and think creatively. And when we do that, there is money available, and you don't have to use your own pocket funds. That's what we are saying, because there is money available. So thank you so much, Thelma, for your time. I know you've taken time out of your day. Thank you for coming on the call.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I'm going to have, I suppose, Sis Linda, do you want to come on the call? I think, let me just go. Just hold on there, Thelma, because I'm going to look from a different screen, guys. I'm doing this for the first time. I've never had to interview someone. So, so let's look on the group. Right. Okay. So let me see if I'll be able to invite Sis Linda. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Thelma, I think you'll have to come off, and then I'll invite Sis Linda. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Enjoy your bank holiday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, 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 bye. So I'm gonna invite Sis Linda onto this. Linda, your account doesn't allow me, sweetheart, to come. Maybe. Okay, this is technology, right? So guys, I've literally bring Sis Linda on the call, and she is gonna talk to us as well. Okay. So Linda, I'm adding you. You can come on the live. Hey, you are all looking very summery and very pretty over there.
Yes, just like I'm doing my ironing.
Wow, that's beautiful. You know what? I have had my laundry done this morning. I have been in the gym, and here I am doing this call. So
yes, today I said, let me do some housework, make sure my ironing is all done and packed away. And I'm going for a night shift after that, starting at 7:30.
Wow, thank you so much, my dear. Just a quick one, Linda. I know you are always hiding behind the scenes.
I know.
So tell us, how's been your day? We want to hear what you're up to. Talk to us. How's been your journey? You have managed to turn around yourself.
You know about this, my journey. I will need to write like a whole book. I've got so many stories to tell. And I've got a big testimony in my life, which I think, need to share with other people so that I can encourage one or two people, you know, I can empower one or two people about the journey of life, the journey of business, even our personal journeys in our life. So I can talk in brief. I understand you want to know more about the business journey.
I want to know more because when I met you, you attended that workshop, the same workshop. That was the first ever workshop actually that I did. And Thelma attended that one as well.
Yes.
So I have never kind of bothered to ask you guys how that impacted you and how you changed, because at that point, you had literally given up. You were like, Fungai, I don't want to do that. I've had enough of Zimbabweans. You had had enough of Zimbabweans.
When I came to your workshop, to be quite truthful, I was in business. I've just called off my business to say, that's it. I can't deal with the Zimbabweans anymore. And I was doing a business in Zimbabwe, which I started in 2006. It was an information technology business, selling consumables, selling hardware, information technology equipment, right? But truthful, I reflected on myself and also noted that it was the way I started it. It was not a professional way as well, because I employed relatives, and I employed some who were not relatives as well into the company. And I pumped in a lot of money, buying equipment from here. All the stock was was coming from the UK, I was fortunate enough to engage with big companies like Dell, ESA, and all that. They were willing, because I had registered the company here as well in 2007. So they were very supportive and willing to support small companies who are startups. So it was easy for me to source out the products and send them to Zimbabwe. But what I noticed at the time through the journey, I was giving debt to big companies which never paid me up to now, because my structure, the structures of the company was like zvezvatinoita kumusha zvezvekuti ndiri kungohodha ndonotengesa usina a clear plan, a business plan, and a clear plan yekuti how are you going to do it. Saka ndandine chibhabha chekuti kungoti ndiri kuhodha ndonotengesa.
And then you lost, Linda, and then you lost all the money. I just wanted to come to the point. You lost all the money.
I lost all the money. And guess what? I was following the protocols, to registration, Zimura, everything, NASA, everything. Wow. I had that in place. Wow. So, wow. But for some reason, I was not following up my work. I gave too much authority to Kunewa and Wangwashita look after the company. Whilst I was naive to have too much trust. You could see, oh, the company can run. Whilst I'm here, I'll go after 6 months and all that. But what was happening is some people were channeling the resources to their own personal use. And I later discovered that even for the use of the company certificate, someone in Zimbabwe can take it and say it's me, the owner of the company. They can easily do that. It was a lot of problems which followed.
You know what, Linda? Let me comment on that and help someone, because some of our brothers and sisters on the call are doing business abroad, myself included, and I have made sure that, guys, I've emphasized the point. When you are starting business and you are not on the ground, do your things properly. Hire people, interview them.
Yes.
Job description, contract, describe the work, reporting processes in place.
Yes.
And just that relationship must be pure business.
Yes.
Because if you don't do that, you are setting yourself up for distress, like, for example, what Linda went through.
Yeah,
make sure your things,
because I wasn't following all the procedures. I was following some, but I wasn't engaging that much. Yeah. And I had secured procurement from the government, and I even came out, I've got documents upstairs which I look at and say, wow, I'd done well, but just because I wasn't very serious in following business rules, it cost me. I had procurement, I came out in the Zimbabwean Gazette, and I did application for tenders and all that. It was all there. But the fact that I was not engaging very well with the people who are running my company, it cost me a lot of money. A lot of money. Wow. To pay that debt back, it was really.
Linda, what about emotional distress?
It was very emotional. I don't want to lie. So when I came back to the UK, I said, oh, let me try the UK, because there were a lot of business networking I've just discovered. Someone introduced me to business networking within the Zimbabwean community. So whilst in the Zimbabwean community, I was showed again some money, because I was very naive in believing without doing proper research to say, okay, this person is saying I'm a company, without doing a background check to see this company, how are they operating? Are they keeping their systems in place? Are they keeping their accounting in place? How are they really operating? I wasn't checking that. But when I was swindled, I started to really check if I'm dealing with someone. I really check. And also, I've learned that you have to sign papers when you are collaborating, partnering, and all that. You have to have documents in place. So
well
that taught me.
That, Linda. Well done.
I met you and came to the event. I was at my lowest and thinking, why is it not working? I've got the resources to do A, B, C, and D, but why is it not working? So that event I attended, it changed everything. And in my learning as well, I established that not all Zimbabweans are bad Zimbabweans.
Amen.
Not all Zimbabweans are bad Zimbabweans. There are very nice Zimbabweans out there who are willing to help. And also, I learned that I should not just limit myself to Zimbabweans only. I have to expand and engage with other nationalities. And learn from other nationalities, the English, the Asian, everyone. When you are doing business, put yourself on an international platform. So now I know, and you also involve God in everything you do. Because God has got all the answers. And God will lead you to the right people. God will give you wisdom and open your eyes and send my red flags. This one is right, this one is not correct. So you also have to listen to that voice of. So when I came, I've been praying and praying over it, that God, please give me people who are engaged, who value integrity, who respect other people, and are genuinely wanting to help people to go to the next level. And then when I came to you and heard testimony, I asked myself, so why was I crying and getting worried? Fungai has even went through the worst thing in business. And here I am, just this episode is dropping me to the ground level and not wanting to get up again. Why is that? So when I came back, I reflected a lot. And then guess what? I picked myself up. As we speak, I'm renovating because I've diverted from information technology business, and I'm now into property business. I want to do property business, and I'm renovating my first UK property portfolio, my first one. And I think I shared with you. You say, Fungai, don't worry, you might think I'm very quiet and not doing anything. This is what I'm doing behind the scenes. And when the time is ready, I'll come with my testimony.
Wow, that's beautiful, isn't it? So sometimes, again, it's coming back to the question I've always emphasized, that connect with the right people. Your spirit should be able to tell you that I am in the right place. And when your spirit is telling you are on the wrong place, just move on. Have the boldness to move on and connect with the right people. And I'm so happy and so glad, Linda. And I know you are not sharing, guys. Linda.
Hello? Yeah, so I wanted to say people have to be aware. I'm not saying you cannot engage with everybody. Me, I'm a strong believer to engage with everybody, no matter positive, negative, but you have to have safer, what we call kusafer. Kumusha, when you pound magwere kumusha, muno pounda magwere, also safer, uchi chapi. I think this thing you should do in this journey of life. Absolutely. Respect everyone, no matter the color, no matter the orientation, no matter what. But what builds you? Because there are people who are very negative. When you are discussing a business, or when you're discussing progress, they will encourage you. They will tell you all sorts of stories. They will tell you, you want to engage with that one. Jiri negative. Unodzoka mumba wakuti watu wane madoubt ekuti so can I proceed or can I just be yourself?
Absolutely.
Because you know yourself better than anyone else. Yeah. And then you know, you all know what you want, what is good for you, and what is bad for you. Yeah. So
wow. And
yeah,
Linda, I wanted to also comment. I wanted to add, Linda, Pakuti, you know, some people also, I think for me, honestly, I like the fact that let's embrace each other. Let's embrace everyone, negative or positive. And you know, one thing I've learned, is that ukaona munhu achiti, I don't do business with this kind of people. I don't do business with my Zimbabweans. I don't do this. Maybe that person has been hurt before. So we don't judge you. We don't judge you because at the end of the day, we haven't walked your journey. We don't know what you've been through.
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is that you have got to belong to a certain community that helps you to grow, that edifies you. And unfortunately, each community at the core is our identity. So when you can't accept your identity, utori in a big problem. And you actually need help, because at the end of the day, if you are not accepting, if you are not accepting Zimbabweans, it means you are not accepting yourself.
That's what I reflected on. I reflected on that. No, I don't have to turn back on my people. I'll be there, but what I have to learn, if someone is persistently negative, learn to just move away and love them. Don't hate them. Love them. You can love people from a distance. You can respect people from a distance. You can even engage with them. But boundaries okay, with so and so I engage like this, because maybe at the time they are not ready. Because you can take a horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink. But as Rekuti, you can't interact and engage with them. You can still engage with them, but mumo wangu asati awa palevo yandiri saka regai ndimbofana kufambisa ntima. And then kana watu palevo yako, then understanding here inozoita clicking.
Absolutely. And another point I wanted to make as well, Linda, is that, do you know, Kuti, I was reflecting, Kuti, why other people or us Zimbabweans, Kuti, Zimbabweans are negative, Zimbabweans are this. And I was reflecting, actually, I was asking my mom these questions, Kuti, Mama, what was it that time that she could ukaenda kwa maini wako kuyaka na ukashika usadye ikoko.
Exactly.
Usadye ikoko. Saka these seeds were being put in us, tiri badiki, and unconsciously it's something that stuck at the back of our minds, you know. Even up to now, when I go kumusha, like my mom, my husband's mom, Mama will be saying, no vanango kana makuya kumusha musawiye ne motkari chagaichi motkari chikuya nacho. We like, but why, Mama? You know, like, you know. So I think those things have been planted.
When I go to my village, most of my work is my village. People, even I'm not blowing my own trumpet on anything, but when you go on the ground in my village and ask Linda Muna Kaita say, I engage with everybody. I don't have that fear. I know you need to know that, you know what, if it is my time, whether God, I ain't got the time, but I have to engage with the people and just understand my boundaries and respect the people and their boundaries. That's the important. I know
and I
out there
the last point,
people.
I was saying I was going to add, Linda, is that we are not discrediting Kutakuna, they are not bad people. But from the foundations where we come from is that the word of God teaches us love. It says, love your enemies. And I was looking at the scripture. Why would God command us to love your enemies? And then in Psalms 23, it tells us that he prepares a table in the midst of our enemies. And I was trying to understand, why would God prepare a table in the midst of our enemy? The point is not that I show off. The point is not that when God has prepared a table in front of your enemies that you show off. No. The point is He is preparing a table in the midst of your enemies.
No.
So that when you are now eating, you invite them to the table and show them God's love. And as you love others and as you engage with them, they also start to see the light.
They will
the money will just follow you. It will just follow.
Yes, I'm a big testimony of that. You know, I've seen the hand of God working in my life. Because when I decided to help, I helped everybody. I didn't look at the fact when I was in the village, I was the laughingstock of the village. And this is a true story. And this, what I'm saying, I've even seek consent from my father, from my mother, that one day I'll tell this testimony to the world. And they are happy for me to do so when the time is ready. You know, I was the laughingstock of the village. This time, right. But when you see me today, and when I tell you the story, I was once a head girl. Secondary school, Samaringa High. I stood in front of the assembly with no shoes, no confidence, and all that, with no shoes. So my character is, people will love me for who I am. Even when I'm here in Europe, I just present myself the way I am. It's very important to be yourself. Integrity in life, it's very important. God will send the right people to you. What one thing I've said, I've learned as well in this journey of life, that Timari will send the right people to you, and you excel. And when you plant a good seed, on the ground, God will return it tripled, quadrupled. I was removed from here because I've got an organization, Global Hand of Hope International, which I self-funded for 11 years.
I love it.
11 years, not because I had money.
Wow.
Not because I had money, but it's that burning passion in me to help the less privileged children to the next level. And those privileged children as well, I teach them self-sustainability, that you have to self-sustain. Like right now, I've got 2 university students who have started, and 4 are about to start. And whilst they are waiting to go to university, oh.
Wow. 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 That is so beautiful, Sis Linda. So we won't keep you for long. I want you to get on with your ironing, but I hope somebody has been encouraged, somebody has been inspired, guys, because it's very easy, Kuzi, kill yourself and feel sorry for yourself to think that you are the only one going through challenges. We all are, myself included, but we choose to persevere and we choose to get on. And let me say something. You know what? Our status doesn't define us, because some people, I have had people come to my house and they've said, wow, Fungai, if it was me living in this house, by now I would not be talking. And I'm saying our possessions, they don't define us. How much money we've got in the bank does not define us. Being married and having a stable relationship does not define me. Having children does not define me. All these things, they do not define us. What defines us is when we walk in our true purpose, edifying, encouraging each other, changing the world to be a better place. So guys, I hope you have been encouraged. You have been inspired to start the week with a better point of view. And the last question somebody said,
battery. So just for a closing statement, I've got a big,
go on.
Okay, I've got a big testimony, but when the right time comes, I will share it with the world. But I've got a big testimony to encourage and empower other people, to keep on going, not to lose hope in life, but to keep on at it. And then when I the life I was talking about, I'm teaching my children I'm looking after self-sustainability, and I've got some who are going to university starting July and August. And as we speak right now, they are doing some piecework to buy themselves clothes, to keep some money for food for the university. So I teach them. So I don't just help them to say, I teach them to fish as well, that you have to learn to fish. So that when you go out there in the world, you are empowered to look after yourself and not to have this dependency syndrome many people have in our community, in our African community. Some of the
we
issues
have to change that.
that are letting us down is the dependency syndrome need to go. So
absolutely.
on that
Thank
note,
you so much, Linda. Have a good afternoon, my dear. Go on with the
listening to me. Yes.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a wonderful afternoon. It was bank holiday for me today. I'm not in the office, but obviously after this call, I've got some projects to look at. But thank you so much. This is refreshing when I connect with you. Have a blessed afternoon.
Yes,
and Linda, see you on the 29th, my sister.
Yeah, 29th, and I'll definitely come back with my testimony when my project is finished. Yes, I will share my testimony. The project is off the ground as we speak, and awesome. I will share my ups and downs as well, also so that other people can learn.
Amen. Good afternoon, guys. God bless you, and we love you so much. Bye. Bye.